They say there are places in this world where the line between reality and the unknown blurs, where the shadows seem to move on their own, and the winds whisper secrets you're not meant to hear. One such place lies in the quiet, unassuming wilderness of southwestern Vermont, a place they call the Bennington Triangle. Imagine a land so beautiful, so serene, yet beneath its surface, something dark and sinister stirs. It's a place where hikers vanish without a trace, where seasoned hunters lose their way, never to be seen again. No warnings, no clues, just gone, as if the earth itself swallowed them whole.
Can you feel it? That gnawing unease, that chill crawling up your spine. That's the feeling countless souls must have had before they disappeared into the depths of this cursed land. What happened to them? What malevolent force lies in wait just beyond the edge of the trees?
And then there's the grief. The endless, aching grief of those left behind, clutching at memories, hoping against hope that their loved ones might somehow return. But they never do. The Bennington Triangle keeps its secrets well. Tonight, we delve into the heart of this enigma, a place where the unexplained reigns and fear is the only constant. Welcome to the Bennington Triangle. The Bennington Triangle, a name that evokes mystery, fear, and the unknown. But before it became synonymous with vanishing souls, this land had a history steeped in legend and whispered warnings. Long before the first documented disappearances, the Native Americans who lived here had their own tales. They spoke of the mountains, of a place where the land was forbidden, where even the bravest hunters dared not tread. They believed the land was cursed, a realm of otherworldly forces that none could escape, but the warnings went unheeded. Settlers came, drawn by the promise of untamed wilderness and the hope of a new life. They built towns, cleared forests, and claimed the land as their own. But the land, it had other plans. Ghost towns now dot the landscape, silent, abandoned remnants of dreams turned to dust. These towns once thrived, but now they stand empty, echoes of a past that was consumed by something far more powerful than man.
Imagine walking through those deserted streets, the creak of an old wooden sign swinging in the winds, the crunch of leaves underfoot, knowing that you're utterly alone. Or are you? Maybe you feel eyes watching you from the shadows. Maybe the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. What drove the people away? What terror forced them to leave everything behind?
And then, in the mid-1940s, the disappearances began. One by one, people started to vanish, their fates sealed by the very land they thought they could tame. A land with a history, a land with secrets. Welcome to the Bennington Triangle, where the past never truly stays buried. It began quietly. No grand event, no warning signs, just a man, a trail, and the thick, silent woods of the Bennington Triangle. The year was 1945, and Mitty Rivers, a seasoned hunter, knew these forests like the back of his hand. Or so he thought. He was leading a group of hunters through the area, confident, sure-footed. As they made their way along the trail, Mitty decided to forge ahead, just a little bit. After all, he knew the land better than anyone. He assured them he'd be right back.
But he never returned. The forest swallowed him whole. No footprints, no signs of a struggle, just gone. The search party scoured the area for days, calling his name, listening for any sound that might lead them to him. But the woods answered with only silence.
A year later, in 1946, the Triangle claimed its next victim. Paula Weldon, an 18-year-old college student, set out on a hike along the long trail. It was a bright, sunny day, perfect for a walk in the woods. She told her friends she'd be back before dark. She was never seen again. Witnesses saw her on the trail, cheerful, full of life. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, Paula seemed to vanish into thin air. Her parents, desperate for answers, organized extensive searches, but it was as if the earth itself had swallowed her whole. 2 disappearances in 2 years, both under mysterious circumstances. But the Bennington Triangle was far from done.
Next was James E. Tedford, a veteran. In 1949, he boarded a bus heading home, taking a seat near the back. Witnesses confirmed he was on that bus as it traveled through the Bennington area. But when the bus reached its final stop, Tedford, he was gone. His belongings were still there. His seat was empty, but there was no trace of the man himself.
The pattern was becoming clear. No one was safe. Not the young, not the old, not even the innocent. Just a year later, in 1950, an 8-year-old boy named Paul Jepson disappeared while playing near his family's farm. His mother had looked away for just a moment. When she turned back, her son was gone. Despite search efforts, no trace of Paul was ever found.
And then, the final, most chilling case. Frida Langer, a 53-year-old woman, vanished while hiking with her cousin. One moment she was there. The next, she was gone. Her body was found 6 months later in an area that had been searched multiple times, raising more questions than answers.
5 disappearances in 5 years. No bodies, no clues. Just a lingering sense of dread and a question that haunts the Bennington Triangle to this day. What happened to them? Was it the work of a serial killer, the unforgiving wilderness, or something far more sinister?
The forest stands silent, as if it knows the answer. But it isn't telling. Not yet.
With each disappearance, the mystery of the Bennington Triangle deepened. But where facts failed, theories began to take root, dark, unsettling theories that only added to the growing sense of fear. Some believe it's the work of a serial killer, a shadowy figure lurking in the depths of the forest, preying on the unsuspecting. They imagine a person who knows the land better than anyone, someone who can move through the trees like a ghost, leaving no trace behind.
But others, they say it's not a person at all. They speak of something far older, far more terrifying, something not of this world. Could it be the spirits of the land, ancient and vengeful, claiming those who dare to enter their domain? Or perhaps something else entirely, a force that defies explanation?
And then there are the whispers of the paranormal. Some say the triangle is a vortex, a place where the laws of nature are twisted and time itself fractures. People tell stories of strange lights in the sky, of eerie, unexplainable sounds that echo through the trees, sounds that chill the blood and freeze the soul. These theories, though terrifying, offer little comfort to the families left behind. For them, the mystery is deeply personal, an endless cycle of grief and unanswered questions. They are left to wonder if their loved ones were taken by something human or by something far more malevolent. Then there are those who believe it's simply nature, the unforgiving wilderness, indifferent to the lives it consumes. After all, the forests are vast, the terrain rugged and unforgiving. A wrong step, a moment of disorientation, and you could be lost forever, swallowed by the trees.
But if it's just the wilderness, why were some of these people never found? No footprints, no signs of struggle, nothing. And how do you explain those who disappeared without a trace, only to have their bodies reappear months later in areas that had been thoroughly searched?
Theories abound, each more unsettling than the last, but none bring us closer to the truth. The Bennington Triangle holds its secrets close, leaving us to wonder, are we looking for answers in the wrong place, or is the truth so horrifying that our minds can't comprehend it?
As you listen, remember this. The Bennington Triangle is still out there, unchanged, waiting, and perhaps, just perhaps, the next disappearance is only a heartbeat away.
With each disappearance, the mystery of the Bennington Triangle deepened. But where facts failed, theories began to take root, dark, unsettling theories that only added to the growing sense of fear. Some believe it's the work of a serial killer, a shadowy figure lurking in the depths of the forest, preying on the unsuspecting. They imagine a person who knows the land better than anyone, someone who can move through the trees like a ghost, leaving no trace behind.
But others, they say it's not a person at all. They speak of something far older, far more terrifying, something not of this world. Could it be the spirits of the land, ancient and vengeful, claiming those who dare to enter their domain? Or perhaps something else entirely, a force that defies explanation?
And then there are the whispers of the paranormal. Some say the triangle is a vortex, a place where the laws of nature are twisted and time itself fractures. People tell stories of strange lights in the sky, of eerie, unexplainable sounds that echo through the trees, sounds that chill the blood and freeze the soul. These theories, though terrifying, offer little comfort to the families left behind. For them, the mystery is deeply personal, an endless cycle of grief and unanswered questions. They are left to wonder if their loved ones were taken by something human or by something far more malevolent. Then there are those who believe it's simply nature, the unforgiving wilderness, indifferent to the lives it consumes. After all, the forests are vast, the terrain rugged and unforgiving. A wrong step, a moment of disorientation, and you could be lost forever, swallowed by the trees.
But if it's just the wilderness, why were some of these people never found? No footprints, no signs of struggle, nothing. And how do you explain those who disappeared without a trace, only to have their bodies reappear months later in areas that had been thoroughly searched?
Theories abound, each more unsettling than the last, but none bring us closer to the truth. The Bennington Triangle holds its secrets close, leaving us to wonder, are we looking for answers in the wrong place? Or is the truth so horrifying that our minds can't comprehend it?
As you listen, remember this. The Bennington Triangle is still out there, unchanged, waiting. And perhaps, just perhaps, the next disappearance is only a heartbeat away.
As the years passed, the terror of the Bennington Triangle faded from the headlines, but for those who live nearby, the fear remains very real. They share stories, tales passed down from generation to generation of the things they've seen, the things they've heard, and the things they've felt in the dead of night. Some speak of strange lights hovering above the treetops, lights that move with a speed and precision that defy explanation. Others tell of unnatural sounds, eerie, disembodied voices that echo through the woods, calling out names, luring people deeper into the forest. And then there are those who felt the eyes, the unshakable feeling of being watched by something unseen.
Imagine walking alone through the woods, the air thick with the scent of pine and decay. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sends a jolt of fear through your body. You turn, sure you've seen something move in the shadows, but there's nothing there. Nothing you can see, at least. But you know, you're not alone.
There's a story about a hiker who wandered into the triangle, a man who came face to face with something that should not exist. He was found days later, disoriented, muttering incoherently about eyes in the darkness, about a voice that called his name, leading him deeper and deeper until he was utterly lost. He never spoke of it again. The fear had taken root deep inside him. The man who returned from the woods was not the same man who had entered. Whatever he encountered out there, it had changed him. Forever. And then there's the tale of the search parties, the brave souls who ventured into the triangle, determined to find the missing. Some returned with nothing but stories of frustration, of being led in circles by the terrain. But others, they returned with something far worse.
They tell of the overwhelming sense of dread, of the feeling that something was stalking them, staying just out of sight. One searcher swore he saw something in the trees, a figure, tall and thin, with eyes that glowed in the darkness. It watched him, silently, as he stood frozen with fear. When he finally found the courage to move, the figure was gone. But the fear, that stayed with him.
These are the stories of those who've come too close, who've brushed against the darkness that lies at the heart of the Bennington Triangle. The land is patient, they say, waiting for the next soul to claim. And yet, people continue to venture into those woods, driven by curiosity, by the need to understand the unknown. Perhaps it's human nature to seek out the mysteries, to confront our fears head-on, no matter the cost.
But as you listen to these tales, ask yourself, would you dare to enter? Would you risk everything to uncover the truth, knowing that the triangle has a way of holding on to those who wander too far?
The Bennington Triangle remains, silent and unyielding, guarding its secrets. And the question lingers, haunting those who dare to think of it. What really lies within those woods, waiting, watching, ready to strike again? The Bennington Triangle, a place where reality frays and the unexplained reigns supreme. As we reach the end of this journey, the mystery remains as dark and impenetrable as the forests that shroud it. But what can we learn from this place where fear and the unknown walk hand in hand? For the families of those who vanished, there are no answers, only the enduring pain of loss. The empty chairs at dinner tables, the birthdays that pass without celebration, the memories of loved ones who stepped into the woods and never returned. They are the true victims of the triangle's curse. Some say the disappearances were just tragic accidents, lost hikers, disoriented by the wilderness. Others insist there's more to the story, that something far more sinister is at work. But without evidence, we're left to wonder and to fear.
What if it's still out there? The force that claimed those lives, biding its time, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to wander into its grasp. What if the triangle is alive, in some dark, twisted way, feeding on those who dare to enter, growing stronger with each life it takes?
The forest stands as it always has, silent and still, but with a malevolent presence lurking just beneath the surface. Those who venture too close feel it, an unseen force, ancient and powerful, that draws them in deeper until they're lost in a labyrinth of trees and shadows. But even in the face of such fear, there are those who won't turn away. They're driven by curiosity, by the need to uncover the truth, no matter how terrifying it might be. These are the people who venture into the unknown, who confront the darkness head-on. They remind us that, though fear may be powerful, our desire to understand, to seek the truth, is even stronger.
But the truth, it comes at a price. And in the Bennington Triangle, that price might just be your life.
As the sun sets on this story, we're left with more questions than answers, more fear than comfort. The triangle remains, its secrets buried deep within the earth, its hunger for the lost souls unquenched. Will the mystery of the Bennington Triangle ever be solved, or will it continue to claim those who dare to step into its grasp, leaving only the echoes of their last, desperate cries? The forest keeps its secrets well, and for now, it's not ready to give them up. But remember this, while the unknown may be terrifying, it's also a call to the brave, the curious, the ones who dare to face it. And perhaps, one day, someone will unlock the secrets of the Bennington Triangle, shedding light on the darkness that has held it for so long. Until then, the triangle waits, its mysteries unsolved, its shadows growing ever longer. And the question remains, who will be the next to disappear into its depths? The Bennington Triangle, a place where the line between reality and nightmare blurs, where the forest seems to breathe with a life of its own. We've walked through the shadows, traced the footsteps of the vanished, and felt the chill of the unknown pressing in around us.
But as you listen to this, remember, the triangle is not just a story. It's real. The disappearances, the fear, the mystery, they linger, just as the forest itself does, waiting, watching. Even now, as you sit in the comfort of your own home, the darkness of the triangle is out there, untouched and unyielding.
Some might dismiss it as folklore, a tale spun by the firelight to keep the curious away. But what if it's more than that? What if the triangle is a place where the rules of our world don't apply, where something ancient and powerful holds sway? For those who've lost loved ones to its depths, the story is all too real. Their lives are marked by a void that can never be filled, a question that will never be answered. They live with the haunting possibility that their loved ones were taken by something beyond comprehension. As we close this chapter, the Bennington Triangle remains, its secrets locked away in the dark heart of the forest. And though the stories may fade with time, the fear they inspire does not.
So, as you step outside tonight, into the quiet of the evening, take a moment to look at the woods, at the shadows that stretch long and deep, and ask yourself, what would you do if the triangle called your name? Would you be able to resist? Or would you, like so many before, disappear into the darkness, never to return?
But for all the fear it inspires, the Bennington Triangle also challenges us. It dares us to seek out the truth, to confront the unknown, to push beyond the boundaries of what we believe is possible. And perhaps, one day, someone will finally unlock its mysteries. Until then, the triangle waits, patient and impenetrable, its secrets buried deep, its shadows ever shifting. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. And remember, some places are better left unexplored. Or are they? Good night and stay safe.